Edmund I, often overshadowed by his illustrious predecessor Æthelstan, ascended to the English throne in 939 AD. His rise to power came at a time of great uncertainty and potential upheaval. The young king, barely 18 years old, was thrust into a position of immense responsibility and expectation. Æthelstan, the king of the English, had secured unprecedented dominance over the island, uniting England under his rule. His reign was marked by a series of strategic alliances and military campaigns that expanded his influence and solidified his power. Æthelstan's court was a center of learning and culture, attracting scholars and artists from across Europe. His reign marked a golden age, characterized by military triumphs and cultural achievements. The victories on the battlefield were complemented by a flourishing of the arts and the establishment of legal and administrative reforms that would shape the future of England. Manuscripts from this era reveal a society that was both sophisticated and resilient. Æthelstan's legacy, however, was not one of peaceful inheritance. The transition of power in medieval England was rarely smooth, and Æthelstan's death in 939 AD ignited a power struggle. The question of succession was fraught with tension, as various factions vied for control and influence. His death in 939 AD ignited a power struggle, with Viking forces sensing an opportunity to reclaim lost territories. The Vikings, ever the opportunists, saw the death of a strong king as a chance to reassert their dominance. Their longships, sleek and menacing, once again appeared on the horizon, bringing with them the threat of invasion and conquest. Edmund, a young man of 18, inherited not only a kingdom, but also the daunting task of defending his brother's hard-won gains. The weight of the crown was heavy on his young shoulders, and the expectations were immense. He was not just stepping into the role of a king, he was stepping into the legacy of a legend. The Vikings, primarily from Dublin, saw Æthelstan's death as a sign of weakness. They believed that the young and inexperienced Edmund would be unable to hold the kingdom together. Their ambitions were fueled by the hope of reclaiming the territories they had lost and re-establishing their rule over parts of England. They launched incursions into England, aiming to exploit the transition of power and reassert their control over the Danelaw, the region in eastern England where Viking law and customs prevailed. The Danelaw had always been a contentious area, a place where the cultures of the Anglo-Saxons and the Vikings clashed and coexisted in a delicate balance. Edmund's mettle was to be tested from the very outset of his reign. The young king had to quickly learn the art of war and the intricacies of diplomacy. His ability to navigate these challenges would determine the future of his kingdom. The battles he fought were not just for territory, but for the very soul of England. His reign would be defined by his ability to rise to these challenges and secure his place in history. The most formidable of Edmund's adversaries was Olaf Guthfrithson, King of Dublin. Olaf was not just any Viking leader, he was a seasoned warrior with a reputation that struck fear into the hearts of his enemies. His ambition knew no bounds, and his strategic mind was always plotting the next conquest. Olaf, a fierce Viking warlord, seized the opportunity presented by Æthelstan's death to launch a daring campaign. With Æthelstan gone, the political landscape was ripe for upheaval, and Olaf intended to capitalize on this moment of vulnerability. His forces, well-trained and battle-hardened, moved with a purpose that was both terrifying and awe-inspiring. He aimed to wrest control of York, a strategically vital city and a symbol of Viking power in the region. York was not just a city, it was a stronghold that represented the Vikings' enduring influence in England. Controlling York meant controlling a key economic and military hub, which would significantly bolster Olaf's power. Edmund, though young, displayed the martial vigor of his lineage. Despite his youth, he was no stranger to the battlefield. His training and heritage had prepared him for moments like these, where the fate of his people hung in the balance. He was determined to prove that he was a worthy successor to his brother Æthelstan. He confronted Olaf at York, engaging in a fierce battle that demonstrated the high stakes of this early clash. The battle was brutal, with both sides showing incredible valor and ferocity. The clashing of swords, the cries of warriors, and the chaos of combat painted a vivid picture of the struggle for dominance. The Battle of York, though not a decisive victory for either side, revealed Edmund's determination to uphold his brother's legacy. The battle ended in a stalemate, But it was clear that Edmund was not willing to back down. His resolve was a testament to his commitment to his people and his brother's memory. The struggle for York highlighted the precarious nature of Anglo-Saxon control over the Danelaw. The region was a constant battleground, with control shifting frequently between the Anglo-Saxons and the Vikings. This ongoing conflict underscored the fragile nature of peace in the area. Edmund, recognizing the need for a more strategic approach, opted for a negotiated settlement with Olaf. He understood that a prolonged conflict would only weaken his position further. By negotiating, he aimed to buy time and strengthen his forces for future confrontations. This agreement, while a temporary truce, allowed Edmund to consolidate his power in other parts of the kingdom. The truce provided a much-needed respite, enabling Edmund to focus on fortifying his rule and preparing for the inevitable future conflicts. It was a strategic move that showcased his growing acumen as a leader. Edmund, having secured a fragile peace with Olaf, turned his attention to consolidating his authority in other parts of England. This peace was a delicate balance, a temporary respite from the constant threat of Viking incursions. He campaigned vigorously against Viking forces that had taken advantage of the unrest following Æthelstan's death. These campaigns were not just about reclaiming lost territories, but also about sending a clear message of strength and resilience to both his allies and enemies. His military successes in Mercia and the Five Boroughs demonstrated his growing strength and his commitment to maintaining a unified England. Each victory was a step towards solidifying his rule and ensuring that the fragmented English territories could once again be brought under a single, strong leadership. Recognizing the importance of alliances, Edmund sought to strengthen ties with neighboring rulers. He understood that military might alone would not be enough to secure his kingdom. Diplomatic relationships were equally crucial. His marriage to Ælfgifu, a woman of noble birth, solidified his position within the English aristocracy. This union was not just a personal alliance, but a strategic move to gain the support of powerful noble families, thereby reinforcing his claim to the throne. Moreover, he cultivated relationships with key figures in the church, recognizing the importance of religious support in maintaining stability. The church held significant influence over the people, and gaining its backing was essential for any ruler who wished to maintain long-term control. Edmund's reign, though marked by early challenges, saw the gradual consolidation of his authority. He worked tirelessly to bring order to a kingdom that had been plagued by internal strife and external threats. He proved himself a capable military leader, suppressing Viking uprisings and securing the borders of his kingdom. His efforts in fortifying the borders were crucial in preventing further invasions and ensuring the safety of his subjects. His political acumen was evident in his strategic alliances and his efforts to foster unity within England. By bringing together various factions and securing their loyalty, Edmund laid the groundwork for a more stable and unified realm. His reign, though fraught with challenges, ultimately strengthened the foundation of what would become a more cohesive and resilient England. Edmund also established a council of trusted advisors, drawing from the most experienced and loyal members of the nobility and clergy. This council played a crucial role in governance, helping to implement policies that would ensure the prosperity and stability of the kingdom. Under his rule, trade routes were secured and expanded, leading to economic growth and increased prosperity for his subjects. The flourishing trade not only enriched the kingdom but also strengthened its position in the region. Cultural exchanges were encouraged, leading to a more integrated and diverse society. This cultural integration helped to foster a sense of unity and shared identity among the people of England. Edmund also placed a high value on education and scholarly pursuits, supporting the establishment of schools and the promotion of learning. This focus on education helped to cultivate a more enlightened and capable populace, better equipped to contribute to the kingdom's future. Legal reforms were another significant aspect of his reign. Edmund worked to create a more just and fair legal system, ensuring that laws were applied consistently and that justice was accessible to all his subjects. These reforms helped to build trust in his leadership and further solidified his authority. Through a combination of military prowess, strategic alliances, and wise governance, Edmund managed to bring a period of relative peace and stability to England. His reign set the stage for future generations to build upon, leaving a lasting legacy of strength and unity. Section 4. The Sons of Edmund. A dynasty continued. Edmund's marriage to Ælfgifu produced two sons, Eadwig and Edgar, ensuring the continuation of the House of Wessex. These sons would inherit their father's kingdom, though their reigns would be marked by their own challenges and triumphs. Eadwig, the elder son, would succeed Edmund but faced opposition from powerful factions within the kingdom. His reign was short-lived, marked by conflict and instability. Edgar, on the other hand, would usher in a period of peace and prosperity, earning the epithet Edgar the Peaceful. Edmund's sons, though their reigns differed significantly, inherited a kingdom that had been tested by Viking invasions and internal strife. Edmund's legacy, in part, rests upon his ability to secure the throne for his heirs, ensuring the continuation of the West Saxon dynasty. Section 5. A King's Life Cut Short, the Death of Edmund I. In 946 AD, at the young age of 25, Edmund I's reign was tragically cut short. While attending a feast in Pucklechurch, Gloucestershire, a thief named Ælfgifu entered the hall. Edmund, known for his courage and impulsiveness, personally confronted the intruder. In the ensuing struggle, Ælfgifu fatally stabbed the king. Edmund's death sent shockwaves through the kingdom. His sudden demise at the hands of a common criminal highlighted the ever-present dangers faced by even the most powerful rulers.